I tell you what, NAFTA. President Trump renewed his threat to terminate the North American Free Trade Agreement as the biggest business lobby aggressively is pushing back and escalating the war of words. And one of my founding sponsors, the American Jobs Alliance, of which, by the way, I'm now the official executive director of the American Jobs Alliance in America, has been fighting NAFTA for 30 years. A great organization. I'm proud to be its executive director. I got named that the other day. We'll be putting a press release out in the next several days. But NAFTA has been a disaster for America. And why is Trump getting pushback from the business community? Why do they love NAFTA? Because they get cheap labor. I mean, it's the whole thing. NAFTA is the centerpiece of the cheap labor, slave labor, the whole thing. It's right there, all in NAFTA. Ship jobs overseas, lower prices, lower the cost of production at the expense of the American worker. And now Trump is trying to get rid of it. 20,000 manufacturing plants gone out of business, shipped out since NAFTA's inception. That great sucking sound that Ross Perot talked about in the 92 campaign is real. 5 million jobs gone. Wages stagnant. Why? NAFTA. You know, the chamber's going to be lining up against, getting out of it, and all the business entities, all the bankers, all the banksters, they'll all be going nuts. Silicon Valley, they all want NAFTA because they can continue to screw the American wage earner and take advantage of cheap labor in other countries. That's it. The U.S. Chamber of Commerce and their president and CEO, the $50 million annual man, Tom Donahue. How do you make $50 million the head of a nonprofit business organization? Who the hell does this? This is just part of the swamp. I mean, this guy makes $1 million a week, and he's the head of a trade organization or a business organization. It's a nonprofit. How do you make $1 million a week? Tom Donahue. Why? Because they're lobbyists. They're not for a small business. They come knocking on your door, and they want a check so you can put the little thing on their window. They don't care if you live or die. They're all about the big donors. The Chamber of Commerce is the biggest scam in America. Biggest scam. I wouldn't give them a dime. Chamber of Commerce, that they're for small business. Baloney. They haven't done a thing for small business in 40 years. All right, enough of that. Let's get to, by the way, the American Jobs Alliance, founding sponsor, Mike, of the John Fredericks Radio Network, fighting for good American jobs in America. What a novel idea. Joining us now, Martha Boneta. Martha, good to have you.
I love your passion. And I'll tell you, my phone's been ringing off the hook since everybody's been finding out about the Salem. You've expanded your audience even greater than it already is. And my prediction is you're going to have your own TV show very soon, the John Fredericks TV show, because I'm telling you, it's that passion that everybody hears, and you're right on the heartbeat of what America cares about.
Well, thank you, Martha. I really appreciate that, and I appreciate the kind words. And we're going to continue to expose the swamp monsters and speak the truth and peel the onion back, and we'll see where it takes us. Right? I mean, that's all we can do.
That's absolutely right. And like you said, we're going to be there on Sunday at the football game. And who knows? I mean, you and I are there to enjoy ourselves with our friends and family. And the owner's suite, we're going to be on the field. And when these shenanigans start, who knows what you and I might say or do, right?
Right. You don't know what's going to happen, but we're all going to be there.
That's right.
That's right. And
that's exactly right.
Thank you for putting this together. And we'll also get to participate. I'm trying to get this fixed up, but I want to go to the Chap Peterson tailgate party at the Redskins game, which is the infamous Chap Peterson party. Yes. So we'll try to get that done. The Fräulein will be there. JoJo's going to be there. So we're going to have a great time watching the Redskins do the San Francisco beatdown.
That's right. That's exactly right. I'm looking forward to it. Now, talk to me for a minute about, you've heard that Corey Stewart, you saw the article in the Washington Post about Corey. What are your thoughts about this?
Well, the article that Martha is referring to for our listeners is that several people close to Trump, mainly Dave Bossie and Steve Bannon, have gone to Corey Stewart and asked him to be more assertive in his backing of Ed Gillespie and thinking that if Stewart gets behind him in a more of an emphatic way, that would help Gillespie's chances. So according to Laura Vizella at the Washington Post, Bannon and Bossie encouraged Stewart, who is an announced candidate to challenge Tim Kaine next year, to patch things up with Gillespie at a private meeting on Capitol Hill. This, according to 4 people familiar with the matter. This is true, by the way, and we'll kind of see. Here's my take, all right? I wouldn't make any deal with Corey Stewart on anything. I just wouldn't. Corey Stewart has to make his own mind up whether or not he's going to back Ed or not. I think leveraging him, I'm all for dialogue and meetings, but I really don't think that Corey Stewart's enthusiastic endorsement, half endorsement, kind of endorsement, non-endorsement, jump up and down endorsement, I don't think that's going to affect anything. I really don't.
Well, Ed Gillespie, first of all, doesn't need that endorsement, number one. And number two, they talked about the Family Foundation dinner. I was there. And, Kathy Gillespie, I'm a huge fan of Kathy Gillespie.
Right.
You can't say a bad word about Kathy Gillespie. She's a lovely woman. She has a heart of gold. I love Kathy Gillespie. She's an amazing woman. And I think the world of her, she has an organization, she's affiliated with an organization that reaches out to teach the Constitution to young people in America. And she's done an amazing job with that organization. And I think she's all heart. Her heart is with Virginia. I was there, and she went over, as gracious and elegant as she is, went over and said hello to Corey Stewart. It was such a dignified, elegant thing to do. And as far as, all of this other stuff about emails and text messages and, meetings and all of this, I don't know about any of that. I just know that, I was there, and Kathy Gillespie went over and said hello in the most elegant way possible to Corey Stewart. I don't think there was anything more to it than that, which is, Kathy Gillespie, the wife of Ed Gillespie, she's a lovely woman, went over and said hello. And now, there's this big article about this. I think it was just the right thing to do.
It's always the right thing to do, to talk to people. I mean,
yeah.
I've been saying that for years. You just have a conversation, right? There's
right.
nothing wrong with talking to people. Look, Corey Stewart has to make his own mind up here. Is he going to enthusiastically, in the last 4 weeks, is he going to do everything in his power in order to help Ed Gillespie get elected governor or not? And I don't think Bannon's intervention or Bossie's intervention, I don't think that's going to matter. And certainly no deal is going to be made. It's not going to be like, you back me, then I'll back your Senate campaign. None of that is ever going to happen. Ed would never do that. It's just not.
Ever do that.
It's not what Ed does, okay? And I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm not judging it, is the right word. I'm just giving a fact. Ed would never make that kind of a deal because it's not Ed. It's not what he does.
It's not his style. It's not who he is.
Right.
And he doesn't make these deals. It just doesn't happen. So all of this speculation and this drama and conspiracy, folks, it just doesn't exist.
It's just drama.
Kathy Gillespie's a beautiful woman, elegant, dignified. She just went over and said hello, and it's the right thing to do. And now, all of these people are talking about this secret deal or this deal. There's no deal, folks. Ed Gillespie doesn't make deals like that. He just doesn't. It's just not how he operates.
You're right. He would never make a deal. He didn't make a deal. And, to me, meeting with, Corey Stewart and trying to leverage him to get him to back Gillespie, this is the decision that Corey Stewart has to make. Either he's going to get off the dime and try to do what he can to help the Republican ticket win or not. And he'll live with those consequences one way or the other. I don't think Bannon's going to influence him. Bannon has nothing to provide him with. Nothing.
Right.
I mean, Bannon can't say, look, back Ed, and then I'll back you in the Senate race, not with E.W. Jackson looming, not with Nick Friedrich looming. He can't do that. So Bannon's got nothing to offer. Bossie, he's got nothing to offer. David Bossie just wants to run around being the power broker. I understand that he's a very powerful guy. Good for him. But they have nothing to give and nothing to trade away. And so Corey Stewart has to decide for Corey Stewart, right?
That's right. And that's exactly right. And I just want to put to rest, there's no deal, there's no secret handshake, there's no conspiracy. It just doesn't exist, folks. It's just not there. And something as elegant, as dignified as going over and saying hello, that's all it is. It's nothing more than that. And, and anybody that knows Kathy Gillespie knows she is just an elegant woman. And, of course, I think she's the greatest. And to now make this big conclusion that there's some sort of, handshake deal or secret deal, it does not exist. It's just not there.
It's fake news.
And, It's fake news. It's just fake news, folks. It's just fake news. Ed Gillespie doesn't do business like that. He doesn't operate like that. He's a principled man, and there's no secret handshake. That doesn't even exist. And it's just, isn't it amazing, John, how, the fake news emerges again with this, conspiracy theory that just doesn't exist. It's not there, but hey, I guess it makes news, right?
Everybody has a conspiracy theory for everything, and you're right about Kathy Gillespie. If you go back to the 2014 Senate race, I was very hostile to Ed Gillespie and the Gillespie campaign. In fact, I voted for and publicly endorsed on the air many times Mark Warner, right? So That's me. I am who I am, and I don't look back. And I thought it was the right move at the time, and I would do it over again if I was back in that time. I didn't like the race Ed ran. I didn't think he knew the issues, and I thought we were better off with Warner. That's me. Now, and I was hostile to the Gillespie campaign and to Ed, right? Hostile.
Right.
I was at the Advance in 2015, right? Where is it? In Bath County, that resort that they have, the Omni there. Can't think of what it is.
The Omni Homestead.
The Homestead, right? And
that's right.
There's a cocktail reception there, and I'm there, and Ed and Kathy are there. And after all this they had gone through with me in the campaign, and many people blamed his defeat on me, Kathy Gillespie came over to me and said, "Hi, John, can we chat for a minute?" and talked to me for about 20 minutes about, just stuff and my family and things that were going on, and said, "Hey, can we sit down with Ed tomorrow and, maybe talk this through?" Now, she did the exact same thing to me in 2015 in December that she did the other day, right? The exact same thing. That's what Kathy does. Yeah. She talks to people. She reaches out.
That's Kathy.
That's Kathy Gillespie.
Kathy Gillespie. That is Kathy Gillespie. And I'm telling you, anybody who hasn't met Kathy Gillespie, make it a priority. Go out there and meet Kathy Gillespie. She, like the way what you just described, that's who she is. She is just such a lovely, elegant woman. And you know what I'm talking about, John, because you've met with her several times. What an amazing woman. She's all classy, dignified, elegant. She's going to make an amazing first lady. And, what she does is reaches out to people. She wants to touch everybody. She wants to reach out to everyone all throughout Virginia, regardless of who they voted for in the past, regardless of, who their candidate was in the past. She wants to meet everyone. And what a beautiful woman. And just, very elegant. I was there at the Family Foundation. Goes over and says hello to Corey Stewart because that's the dignified, elegant thing to do. And that's who Kathy is. We'd be very blessed as a Commonwealth, very blessed to have her as our First Lady.
Well, it's certainly
really doing amazing things for Virginia. Truly amazing things. Based
on what I experienced with her, the fact that she went over and talked to Corey Stewart is consistent with what she does. So, right. I got to get on here, Martha. Baseball update. I got to give a baseball update. I'm sorry,
you got it.
Martha, you can stay with us. But this just in, Mike, off the wire. The Boston Red Sox firing manager John Farrell. Today, somebody texted to me. John Farrell, after he got tossed out of Game 4 and the Astros beating the Red Sox in Boston, John Farrell fired by the Red Sox. So not only did my Astros knock Boston out of the series, we came to Beantown, we saw, we went, we kicked butt, we came home, but we also got their manager fired. What a great day if you're a Houston Astro fan. What other managers can we get fired between now and then? This is the John Fredericks Radio Network, trucking the truth across America. Tonight, Yankees, CC Sabathia. I'm telling you, CC Sabathia is going to pitch the game of his life. 43 years old. He's going to shut down Cleveland. He's going to beat Corey Kluber. The Yankees are going to play the Astros in the championship. CC Sabathia. Give it to the old guys that are overweight. I'm for him.